Hello and welcome to IMI Headquarters Fanshaws. I'm Barry Williams, Business Development Manager and a lead on the DVSA new qualifications for MOT testers.
And I'm Tom Denton, I'm E-Learning Development Manager, and we're going to be answering some questions for you today. Okay, so Barry, I'm going to ask you a few questions and then we'll swap over and ask some back,
great.
and hopefully we'll cover a lot of things that people need to know. What are the main changes that the DVSA have made to MOT training?
Okay, they're quite significant and they're quite groundbreaking. What they've done is they've switched off their own training and they've moved it across to awarding organisations to deliver a qualification. This qualification is for MOT testers in light vehicle, motorcycle and managers. There's also the requirement for CPD and an annual test.
Okay, so it's quite radical changes then.
Very radical.
Okay, hopefully we can help people out with some of these. How in particular is it going to affect existing MOT testers?
Okay, that's a good question and a great place to start. Existing MOT testers will have to do 3 hours of CPD in 1 year, but it's 16 hours in 5 years. So at some point there'll be the need to do an extra hour within those 5 years. They'll also need to do an annual test each year, which then will keep their licence so they can keep on testing. If they don't do that, the DVSA have the ability to switch the station or the tester off.
Okay, so this is serious.
Very serious indeed.
Great. Okay, what about people who want to become an MOT tester? What do they have to do now?
Okay, so the new system would be that they need to do a qualification, whether it be in light vehicle or motorcycle, depending on which they're testing. And at that point, that then gives them access to be assessed to be an MOT tester by the DVSA.
Okay, and where are those qualifications going to be run?
Those qualifications will be run within our approved centre network of FE colleges and training providers.
And I understand there's an option for a manager course as well, is that correct?
There is an option for a manager course. The qualification for the management course is based around some knowledge and an underpinning knowledge test.
Okay. Are there any specific qualification or experience requirements for those people who want to become testers or managers?
Yes, there is. Historically, the DVSA would have offered you a course to get you up to the level to become an MOT tester. Now you have to enter, so there are entry requirements. Those requirements would be a level 3 competence qualification or an IMI accreditation in diagnostic technician or light vehicle inspection and 4 years experience within the trade.
Okay, and what about the managers?
The manager's qualification is slightly different. Because that's around management of a centre, you don't need the occupational competence.
Okay, so what you're saying is then that it's now actually possible for technicians to become fully qualified in preparation for being an MOT tester. That's kind of quite a change, isn't it?
Very much so. It now gives you the ability to access the MOT qualification whether you are unemployed, whether you're leaving the services, or if you're not working within an MOT station.
Well, thanks for that, Barry. That's answered a lot of my questions, and I hope that's helped some people out there who've got the same questions as well.
Great, brilliant. And I've got some questions for you, Tom.
You're welcome. Fire away.
Okay, Tom, I'd like to ask you a few questions that will take some of the fear, the mystery, or the wonder out of what MOT testers are going to have to do for the existing side. Okay. So can you tell us, what have the IMI done to make it easier for MOT testers?
Okay, well, we've been building e-learning systems where people can go online, 2 or 3 easy clicks, make themselves an account and take the annual assessment, for example. But prior to that, we've built systems where they can do the online training, so they're covering their CPD requirements that you mentioned earlier on. And in fact, if they complete all of the CPD requirements, they can print a certificate at the end of it as well, which gives them evidence that they need for the DVSA inspectors.
That sounds like a nice simple way of doing it. What classes are covered?
Classes 1 and 2, which is motorcycle, and then we also cover classes 3, 4, 5 and 7, which in general terms is light vehicle. So we have specific material available for both of those classes.
That's great. And how will they access any of those assessments?
If they just go to the main website for the IMI, there's an option there to follow to MOT related material where they can create an account, make a modest payment and access all the material they need in a number of different formats.
That's great. What about those candidates that are taking the qualification?
The qualifications will be done through our approved centre network, as you mentioned earlier on, but we're also producing e-learning material to help them through that process. For example, the MOT Tester qualification, there are 5 different units that they have to complete, and they're named something like health and safety, working relationships, communication, and then the actual units that involve carrying out the test. Well, some of those units are going to lend themselves to be done by e-learning before people attend at any of our approved centres.
That's great, Tom. Thanks for that. How will the training and assessment be done for new testers?
New testers will need to attend our centre network, our approved centre network, and the courses are likely to be something like 3 or 4 days, but as mentioned, some of that may well be done by e-learning. And they will carry out a practical assessment at the centre, which is effectively doing an MOT test, and they also have to carry out a formal invigilated online assessment, which are multiple choice questions.
How do existing testers and those doing the training get additional help or support?
Well, for example, if people need extra time to do assessments, this can all be arranged through our centre network as normal. If anybody needs a reader, for example, to help them through the questions, our centre networks are always doing this type of thing for their students, and they're always happy to help.
Okay, Tom, thanks for that. That was brilliant. I hope everybody now understands how they can do CPDs and annual tests, which is great. And if anybody has got any other questions, please feel free to visit our website. There's a DVSA area on the website that you get loads more information from.